Hola, and amigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPiano.
And together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, we'll be creating an animation from scratch live using just HTML and CSS today.
And this show, what?
Right?
Yeah. I think we can do without the JavaScript today. No need for that mess.
Challenge accepted.
This show is made possible by your support. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers, or hit the like and subscribe buttons around the video, with additional links available below.
Yeah, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have, so please reach out in the chat or the comments.
That's right. How you doing, David?
Good. I am back home for once for a couple days.
Officially in the Eastern time zone?
Yeah. For now. For the last 3 weeks I wasn't, but
yeah,
now I'm back for a little bit.
Well, glad you are back. It's nice to be talking with you in real time. The way we had to stagger it out while you were 8 hours apart was very dramatic.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let's see. Should we check out what we're working on today?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Let's get switched over here. All right. Uh-oh, you've disappeared on me. There you are. All right. So today we have Mitosis After Effects by Cuberto. Is that correct?
Cuberto, yes. It's a company. It's a design firm type of thing. They make some really awesome stuff.
Yeah. So. It's a cool looking little animation. You don't see much like this out there, so that's it's always extra fun. It's got this kind of gooey separation effect, which I dig.
Yeah, it's a really fun effect, and it's actually not that hard to do. I'm sort of like trying to bite my words because it might turn out to be harder than we anticipate, but I think it's actually pretty doable. So.
Yeah, I think it's hopefully shouldn't be too intensive here. And yeah, just taking a closer look here, you can see that nice little separation happening, lots of little strands, and we've done a similar effect at least once in the past, so we'll probably be using a few of the same techniques. Yeah, there was a Gooey GUI animation. I'll have to link that. Yeah.
Yeah, better memory than me. I remember that.
Well, it was last season. That was ages ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Shall we get into the coding?
Sure. Yeah. As I'm digging through all my private pens, trying to find where I have done something like this before. But if you go on Third and you look for like Gooey, then you're gonna see probably something by Lucas Faber, I believe. Yeah, Lucas Faber, which really demonstrates like the technique involved with creating the Gooey effect.
Yes.
So yeah, let's just maybe code some scaffolding out.
Yeah. In the chat, I linked one of our previous episodes that uses the Gooey mailer. If you remember that one, that was fun. Bet we have the exact Gooey GUI stuff we'll need in that one. To copy pasta. Let's see. filter. Bring that over.
Oh, perfect. Copy paste. I have no idea what any of this means, but I'm sure it does the gooey stuff that we need to do. So
yes. So SVG filters are a core component of GUI effects on the web right now. It's the easiest approach to doing that because you can apply this SVG filter to actual elements within the DOM using just filter CSS. And basically, it works by first blurring whatever the source is, and then it takes that blur and basically sharpens it, and then blends it together with the original image. And so that sharpened blur is what actually gives you the little like strands in the stretch kind of effect. So yeah, let's just do a quick demonstration. So content and description. If we just give these width, height,
and I have a color for you.
Background, color, primary, and
perfect.
Yeah. And then we'll set. Let's see, we want the app container to have the filter on it at the moment, just for testing this out. So this will be.
So basically, everything inside the app then is going to be gooified, right? Everything.
Yeah, for just for now to show the effect, and then let's do description, form. We'll do actually animation. Move it, and looping keyframe. Frames, move it to
no gooiness yet.
No gooiness yet. Yeah, there's a little bit.
Is there? Oh, I see it. I see it. A little bit. So how could we increase the effect?
Increase the goo, you say? Well, let me make sure that I am actually using it first.
Yeah. Do we need to add cornstarch, or what's the plan here?
Let's see. Filter. Oh, the filter ID is actually goo. It's not filter. Let's apply that, and you should be able to see a big difference there.
Oh wow,
yeah.
That is gooey.
Yes.
That's very, very gooey. That's definitely what we want. And so we're gonna tweak this a bit more.
Right. It's a pretty nice start to things.
For sure.
All right. So yeah, we probably don't want everything with the blur filter because I believe that would affect
so we have to think about how we could limit that. Is there a way, like, does it stack in a way where you could say all of the content inside to be no filter, or can we not be selective like that? I exactly know how this filter exactly works. I just know it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think there is like an unfilter kind of option. I think it's kind of all or nothing on the parent that it's applied to. So what we would probably want to do is something like we've done in the past, where we have actual separate background and like foreground elements. So like down here, class equals background, and then we would have equals, you know, G content equals description. Fortunately, that'll make positioning a little difficult, but that can be overcome with grid. Probably be the right approach there.
Where are you writing grid? Sorry, see that.
So we would probably want our app to have display grid and grid template. Those auto template columns. That could be auto. And then we'll do our background with a grid template caret. Theory. If we position this, actually we don't need position absolute, we can just do grid area 1. Let's see, grid columns.
You're doing some fancy grid juggling.
1,
right
-1, grid row 1, and that should not work. Let's see here. Really need to get more familiar with
So for anyone who wants to learn more, I just put a link in the chat, and this is the Gooey menu by Lucas Becker. There's a bunch of different versions which you could check out, but it's basically the exact same implementation of using SVG filters to implement a Gooey sort of UI. And so if you want to see how this works in practice, this is a really good way to do so. And right now I'm examining these just to make sure that we could have this Goo without it affecting anything else, which I think will be fine, but you know, can't be too sure. Let's see. Goo looks like he's using some sass everywhere. It's fine. Filter, 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 filter.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Chrome full screen is such a mess. Work well with the tab bar. CSS grid, so that I can figure out what's wrong. Code. Get that.
Always
here.
fun.
Yeah. All right. So, row. Let's see. Start grid end. Should be. That should be working. You can talk about what you're doing as I.
Oh yeah, so I'm just adding a little checkbox thing right now, just so we could have a sort of toggle to toggle stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, this is a similar technique that we've used in the past. Just have a label for and then toggle. If you're doing this in React for whatever reason, then you have to use HTML4 instead of just for because JSX is silly. So, which I still think it is. I do React every day, but I wonder if Vue has that problem.
The what problem?
Where like I have label for equals toggle, but of course for is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, so you have to say HTML4. Just a little fun.
That is not a problem in Vue because it actually respects the languages it's built upon.
Yeah.
And I've just position absoluted that toggle to get it out.
It's not a word. It's just making this verb.
Absolutely positioned. Sure.
Yeah, there you go. You absolutely, or you positioned absolutely, or you absolutitioned. You, I don't know. I just mimic words now.
Let's see. All right. Why grid
So where did the colors go? Oh, you're still figuring out the grid thing.
Yeah. Okay. I can always just get around with position absolute, but there is a solution. Grid template rows.
Wait.
Yeah, that's the correct syntax there. Inspect it, you can see. Inspect it before David makes changes. Let's see. Inspect it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, that's not. Great. Span. All right, we're position absoluting. If anyone knows the correct CSS grid approach there, please let us know.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
Now where's everything? Oh, you have the backgrounds on top of everything.
Yeah, which that can.
Are you sure we need that though? Like, do we absolutely need those, or could we just see what happens if we apply the filter on just the contents in the description?
We can certainly try.
Let's try. Let's see what happens. I mean, because I'm looking at these GUI menu examples that I posted in the chat, and they do have contents inside of them, and that content is not seen to be affected by the filter. So I think we're pretty good there.
Right. So the way the effect is working, like when we looked at the SVG up here, so it blurs the input, and then it on that blur it sharpens it, which gives those nice kind of edges on it. But then it is blending in the original image on top of that, so you will get the content and things in there, and shouldn't be distorted. It's this back content and description. Comment those out. Let me get dev tools here so we can actually see. Hey, look at that. We've already got
cool.
A little bit of gooing.
Something I never really understood about um oh hold on. Content be on the top. And that way we could have that button there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh yeah. Okay, so I see the issue now. Now the button is being blurry.
Yeah.
Like it's contributing to that.
Right.
I wondered, can we hack that somehow?
If the button is outside of app, or if we did.
I hacked it. Oh wait, just kidding. I didn't hack it. Wow. SVG filter is powerful. It's like Thanos or something.
It
Nothing gets
will.
past it. I try to promote the button to its own layer.
Yeah, that's not gonna help. Um,
So I can't really say make button immune to the effects of.
I know part of what's happening here. Ground plane because it's currently grid there. Yep, problem. Yeah, that button, which it's the same color as the background, so that's not going to be awful at a normal speed. But that's certainly not ideal.
It's fine. We'll just keep it and see what happens.
Well, let's see. Part of the animation is that button.
Yeah.
Oh no, the button actually doesn't move. The button stays in place. So
no, but the little thingy inside does move, and so
yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now. Although I am a bit upset about the colors blurring. I mean, I guess we could think through that a bit more.
Do you want to go to the background approach? Separate background approach?
If we're obligated to, then
well, that's going to be the
to,
only way to avoid the button being blurred as well.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how it's done. In the Lucas Weber that
Let me pull that up.
Yeah. But in the meantime,
yeah, that's simple because they're all just the same background color, so it's not an issue. Yeah, that's all that's happening. So yes to separate background or work with the blended button.
Question. Oh no.
Vote in the chat. So I think we can get away with leaving the button a part of it. Let's see, making this all fancy. That's nice. Steve G in the chat says separate background, so I'm gonna listen to him. He knows what's up.
He does know what's up.
All right. Go content. Let's see. Okay, so that get the same sizing there. Some trouble bouncing around here. That has to do with the goo, which is not the world's performant.
That's okay. I mean, sometimes you have to sacrifice performance for cool effects such as this, unless you want to use shaders or something crazy like that.
Yeah. All right. I've gotten that removed. Let's see. Template.
Got the button working.
So the button actually toggles. Very good.
Yeah, and I have the ugliest selector in the world to do this, but don't worry about it. Actually, it's not the ugliest, it's just pretty close. It's up there in terms of ugly selectors. I mean, it has just a combination of all of your favorite nasty stuff. We have like hashtag toggle :check squiggly star and that's it.
Okay, so
it's like Da Vinci Code or something.
I think I have the background separated here in a way that's going to work. All right, so where did you? Okay, you did your toggle checked there. This toggle checked. Yeah, it's a interesting selector.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Toggle checked star. Let's do.
In fact, yeah, we could move stuff to that and here just so we could have more stuff.
Yeah,
we'll put that in there.
That's good. Okay, so what we'll do here is transform, translate 0. The default state is going to be transform, translate y.
I'm going to add some default transitions.
Right. Description. Theory, that's correct. Okay, yes. But let's remove the background from content. There. Okay, we don't have our transition yet. Do want to add a big.
So I have some transition variables. We have our duration and our easing. So you could go ahead and reuse those.
Duration. Oh, yes. Okay. Position, transform.
You know, how bad would it be if you know how I have a habit of putting position relative on everything? Mm-hmm. What if we put transition on everything?
We've done that in a few. It works out okay.
Sort of, until you get those like, all right, this really shouldn't transition type of thing. And so I'm going to set the duration to a bit longer just so we could really see that gooey effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me see your backgrounds. We have BG content and BG description. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm going to add 3 things. In BG contents, I'm going to add 3 dots drip. Actually, no. Sorry. Yes. Actually, yes.
Wouldn't you want them in description?
Yes, both. I want them in both. Yes. So I'm adding 3 dot drip classes, and these are going to be like the extra little drippy effects that they have in After Effects. And interestingly enough, if you want to know how this is done in After Effects, there's a bunch of video tutorials on YouTube, and it's actually a very similar technique because After Effects works on vector graphics as well as imported videos or images or other assets you may have. And what's cool is, since it works on vector assets, you could also have these same kinds of filters. And so the techniques used in doing this in CSS are going to be very similar to what you would use in After Effects, which is pretty cool. So just a little tidbit. So of course your background stuff. All right, so add this little drip. We have BG contents, BG description, and our drip is going to be basically a circle. So position absolutes. Okay, so we have some, let's make them red just to just for debugging purposes. Okay, cool. So in the contents, well, let's do this. So the ones in the contents we want on the top, but the ones in the description we want in the bottom. Yeah, we could just have BG contents and then drip. We want this bottom 0. And then same thing for the description. Drip, we want top 0.
Okay.
Yeah. So just thinking through this in the video, what we have is these drips, I call them, seem to lag. So what we could do, like if you were to dissect the animation, we can't really have it lag just because it's a child of the parent. So instead, what we're going to do is sort of a sinusoidal, it goes up and then it comes back down. So we could get the illusion of it lagging. If that makes sense. I use the word sinusoidal, so I don't know if that makes sense.
No.
Okay, so sinusoidal, just up and down, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. Although, yeah, we'll do that. I'll show you. All right, where's our fun little checked? Right, so toggle checked. So in the description, I'm just going to show you an example of what that's going to look like. We're going to have drip and then animation up down. I'm not going to use words sinusoidal. Their duration, their easing, and then so this up down animation, so keyframes up down, we're going to go from to transform none, and then 50% we want to transform translates y just negative 100%. So that's going to is that giving the effect? I think so. You see how it lags a little? I think if you add a border to the background description, you could or an outline at least. Yeah, so you see how they lag a little bit?
Yeah.
So we want that to last. I mean, right now it's pretty high up, but we don't want it to spring back until the very end. So we could make this more like 75%. So it really lags. Oh, but then it shoots back down. So I think we need to make the duration twice as long, which I think is exactly what happens in the original video, is that the gooiness just lasts twice as long. So I'm gonna just make a double duration variable and 2, so we don't have to keep writing that, so we could just change this to double duration, and we could change this back to oh yeah, so see it pauses a little bit. I think if we do 50% now, then it's going to look fine. Cool. So now we need to do the same thing for the other drip. So for the BG contents. So now instead we're going to have a down up animation, and this is going to go down instead. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Oh, because I forgot to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how it lags a little bit?
See that.
Yeah. So now comes the fun part where we could position them and actually let's what'd you do with my variables?
I moved them up.
Oh, okay.
We can just name that
All
drip.
right, I'm
drip
call this
duration.
lag
Okay.
duration multiplied by 1.5 or something. Yeah. All right. So now let's we take a look back at the original video. We're going to see that number one, these are pretty big.
Yeah,
so...
I increased the size of them just now, and we actually don't need them to specifically be round. We can make them a little more stretched of a shape.
Yeah, I feel like it snaps a little too fast. I don't know. Maybe we do need it to be twice the duration. Just trying to get the timing right. And so if we do twice the duration, then we could move these down to 30%. Yeah, they seem to be lagging a bit. So let's change this to 20%. And the timing is the hardest part here. It's like, so we have all the mechanics to just really get this going, but oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have this on a instead of the duration or the lag duration I called it, we'll have it on a duration, but also have a delay. So it doesn't really do anything until it really gets like to that breaking point. And so we could say just pair duration times 0.7, which I should really put in a variable. So now it jumps, which is not what we want. So here, an idea. Okay. So it starts off the animation.
Well, we need fill mode on there.
Oh yeah, both.
That's part of the problem.
Except now it shows on the bottom.
Right, so that needs to be. What's up? Thanks for joining
Still
us.
not satisfied. Yep, still not satisfied.
Let's see. And it does need to be an animation. A transition isn't gonna.
You know, it might not need to be an animation.
Well, for the bottom ones, I think it will need to be, because we don't want those. We don't want those translated down unless we do like some opacity transition kind of stuff.
Yeah, but probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what? There might be a different way to think about this. Yeah, you know what? An idea. The idea is that instead of having these
Here,
overlapping,
play with that now. I adjusted the delay a little bit. Feels
it's too late.
Yeah.
So the 0.5. All right, let's try that.
Adjust the easing on the drips, Steve. Does might certainly be helpful.
Yes, it is. It's pretty playful. It's like it breaks apart.
Yeah.
A little bit. So, you know, it's not bad. But I have a different idea. Right now, the description is overlapping the contents, right?
Yeah.
And so instead, what if we made, what if we had a lot less of an overlap? So instead of the bottom touching the bottom, first of all, the description should probably be shorter, maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, we could adjust some sizes here. So over here, the height is 20 v min, and the content is there. Oh wait, oops.
What are you trying to do?
Don't worry about it. Okay, well, you know what? I think that actually works. Sort of. I'm just looking at the original animation and seeing how we could make it a little bit more realistic. I think if we could oh, here we go. So for the description and the contents, yeah, wow, that'd be fun. Okay, so if we do drip and child 2, so basically the second drip, we could set, and this is the beauty of CSS variables, we could set the duration to so we can make it last a little bit longer.
Is that nested calcing gonna work? I don't think you can reference the same variable.
Geez, no, I just invalidated everything. What have I done?
Well, what you can do is animation duration. Just override it that way.
Oh. Yeah.
Feels nice.
Yeah, although that easing seems to
yeah, the easing itself is a little snappy. If it's a little more rounded, I guess, or a little straighter, probably be the right easing term.
Oh wow! So I just changed the what's it called, the delay, and I'm actually a lot happier with the shorter delay. Check that out.
Let's see. Yeah.
And then so I think for the final finale thing, if we increase the duration, then I think we have something going here.
Yeah, that's feeling much better.
Yeah, so now we could just tweak some things, like the lag duration, like, yeah, just a little bit slower. And then maybe less of a delay too. Or we could probably get rid of the delay entirely. I don't know. What do you think? Let's do it. Bye.
Let's just experiment. Let's see. No, needs the delay because it peaks out the bottom.
Oh well, we could fix that because we have an animation, and so we could just what could we do? It's peaking at the bottom, yes, but see, that's at 20%. So what if we change that? See, on the description, no, on the content. What if we change that to like 50%? Or just kidding. We say like 0, 20%. Anyway, we could solve this in a keyframe sort of way. Maybe not 20%. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Wow. There we go. Oh, that feels great and gooey, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it, but it feels okay to me.
Yeah. So let me see.
All right, so now let's those colors.
Right. I just adjusted them so we could
Gotcha.
test. But if we switch those back over, you can see that it's goo happening. Let's remove some borders that we have for testing. Description should not have a border. Let's see.
This is, wow. It's nice. So we had this avatar sort of thing happening. So let's just add that to the... And the avatar is just a chair.
Is there a reason the description has some kind of border on it? Can't.
No.
I can't tell what's happening there. Okay, it's the actual BG description. That for reasons unknown. I'm also not getting the content from the actual description. I've got some content in there, but it's not actually showing. Strangeness. Let's see.
Using the emoji finder on Mac is just almost downright impossible. You search for chair, and you get nothing of what you want.
Yeah.
You have to like search for the exact term. It's pretty ridiculous.
Okay.
Are chairs natural? I'm looking at animals in nature. It's not there. How about activity?
That's a good question. I mean,
ooh, travel in places. There we go.
Aren't nests just fancy chairs for birds?
I don't know, but I found a chair, and it's beautiful.
Hey, that's nice. Okay, why? Is there a reason I don't have? Oh, okay. Part of the issue, I think, is this. Why?
What's going on?
Star. So part of the issue was our selector there. Yep, there we go. Okay, that's better. Getting our content showing up now too. But
perfect.
Is that? Description.
It's such a mind shift programming styles using viewport units, but it's something that really makes a difference, especially with responsive styling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hit our checkbox there. And can do also, let's see, of the content, I think. Shift. Yeah. That's such a nice snappy transition. If you go back to the original, nice a nice easing on that. Which I think
There we go.
Yeah, better. So up the time. Yeah, that feels nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you breaking
Everything.
everything.
I'm just trying to see. Yeah, working with viewport units. I don't know why I agreed to do that, but
Okay, yeah, that's what I missed.
Hmm.
And we'll do this. Nope. Here. Oh, but we button.
It's such a lovely effect.
It really is. Where's button styles? Dev tool. Nice. Button. Where is the button?
I think I set the font size a little too high. Font size should probably be like 3 VMin, something like that. There we go.
Yes. There we go. For each of these.
Yeah, let's let me make the description. I know where you're see, I want to make the description a little bit shorter because it feels a little bit too tall right now. And I hope that that won't affect the background. So I don't know what needs to be changed there if we do that.
What are you adjusting?
Um, the description, and so I think the BG description also needs to be adjusted in terms of height.
That should happen automatically because of the grid inheritance.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
I did need to set the initial BG content that way, but BG description should be okay.
Okay. So let's do rows. We have 2 of our 5. That's a little too small. Let's see, 5 far. There we go. All right, so does that grid template rows apply to the...
well, you actually have a height on the description.
Right, so should we just get rid of that?
In theory, if we get rid of that and set that column, that row to auto, that may work. Nope. Or and then auto here. is what we want. Whoa.
Sorry, changing stuff all over the place. I could really use your M's thing right now. Well, I'm coming around to M's. All right, so we have font size 3 vmin, so I could say for each of the headers, the font size should be 1.2 EM.
Thanks for following.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so 1FR is not right.
You made the description pretty big.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That feels better. If you look at it now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice, actually.
Yeah. I'm just being a little semantic. Don't mind me. Oh, paragraph is way too thick. Margin. Oh, we can use M's. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm coming around to M's. Maybe you will feel this way about, position relative. But if not, that's okay.
I see the benefits of it, but you know.
So there's one little thing. Now the drips are not appearing on the contents. Something happened there?
I think that's potentially just the delay. Let me background red them, see them. Yeah, I think it just has to do with the speed of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
they just need some animation adjustment.
Yeah.
So it's probably.
Yeah, there's no animation on the.
Really?
Yeah.
Lag duration.
Yep, might be worth fixing. Yeah, you see how the.
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. Nope. Don't adjust anything. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Aha, selectors.
Yep.
Always fun. I love that little star selector.
Yeah, I needed to remove that for the animating the actual description. I could have moved that out, I suppose, but it's something we can do another day. Okay, and I need to adjust the lag duration there because I.
Oh yeah, now it's a little bit funny now.
Yeah.
It's very
It's like better. Let me adjust the timing here to 80%.
Yeah, well, what was it before? Before it was nice and
Yeah, I'm liking that.
We make it a little less snappy. Actually, it's fine. I guess you can't really be too picky when it comes to goo effects because it's gonna look gooey. It's not gonna look the most pleasant. It's just a very interesting effect, though.
Yeah, it's nice. There we go. Let's adjust this down. It's nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Looks good.
Let's see, anything else we want to do? Hey,
this is one of those things that you could just keep clicking for days.
Yes. Let's see. Adjusting it a little bit. with additional transformy.
Oh yeah, but the gooiness now it comes in a little bit too late.
Right.
Maybe we need to adjust the delay. Oh no, we did. I thought we got rid of the delay. Right?
Yeah, we got rid of the delay. It's more
so
the actual keyframe timing.
Yogurts, however you pronounce that, is suggesting that we have a little hover effect for the button. I think that's a good idea. So I'll go ahead and add one while you tweak the stuff.
Yeah. 15%, and this will go 30%. Yeah, and then grips, just that. This. Nope. And open our drip stuff. To offset the drips just a little bit. Oh, I see what you're saying, Steve. Scaling the drips to make them a bit skinnier. Yeah. That's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, it's a very useful. So basically, you make them skinnier by scaling them, and so it looks like it's
right when they're at the peak of the stretch, they're skinnier, and then they come back to full size as they're merging in. So you get real nice goo effect.
Yeah, I'm just saying a little, little scale animation. Nothing crazy for the button.
Nice, yeah. Child 3. So what I'm doing with the drips is offsetting the bottom and the top ones so they're not perfectly aligned, so that you get a little bit of extra realism.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I probably clicked this like 200 times this entire episode.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that as well.
Beautiful.
Lower the lag duration just a little bit.
There we go. This is super gooey. It's like that Play-Doh stuff. The squishy stuff that you made when you were in elementary school.
Kinetic sand?
It's something like, wow, you went to a fancy elementary school if you had kinetic
No, I don't think kinetic sand existed as we were children.
It didn't. It's a modern Silicon Valley invention.
Let's see. No, just like actual slime, like gack. Definitely played with
Gack.
a lot of gack. Probably had some this color too. Think about it. Okay. Let's see. Could do content.
Oh, what'd you do?
Just breaking some things. Don't worry about it.
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, that's not gonna work because of that. So ignore that. Never mind. All right. What do you think? Oh, shall I bring this one in for a landing?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now we are moving into the part of the show known as Keyflections. This is where we break down techniques used to build this animation. And if you have any questions, now's a great time to ask. We'll try and answer any questions you have. You can leave a comment down below as well.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed watching this so far, please follow and subscribe here on Twitch or YouTube, or pledge at patreon.com/keyfreemers.
Yes.
And the links are right down there.
Very, very important to do that. All right, so the animation today, Mitosis After Effects by Cuberto. It's this nice, lovely, gooey transition from a checked state to from a closed state to an open state. You got that lovely little
two
effect.
simple states.
Yeah. So we naturally built a state machine.
Sort of.
You know, a Boolean.
Exactly call it that. We have a nice little toggle.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a technique we've used quite a bit, where we have a hidden input checkbox and then a label for that checkbox, in this case the button. So whenever the button is clicked, it toggles the checkbox, and then we can use the checked pseudo selector. So down here, ID toggle checked, plus the adjacent sibling selector. Typically with your CSS selectors, it's you know, as you combine them. So if you had like toggle, you know, header, then that would be a header inside of toggle, which doesn't really work. But with that adjacent sibling selector, this would be a header after the toggle. So we can now target all of the elements after the checkbox. However, if we wanted to target BG content specifically, we have to make sure that we add in that star selector as well, so that we're targeting the actual element inside of the element that is adjacent to the checkbox.
Yep, and it's a pretty common technique you'll see in many of our episodes to toggle between just two states with just CSS. Now, we don't recommend you do this in real life projects just because it's more of a hack rather than something you should actually use.
Yeah, where did you mess with the font stuff? Because now I'm seeing a sans serif.
Funny enough.
Did you?
It was working, but oh wait,
family.
sans serif.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There we go.
Well, see, open sans needs to be in quotes there.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be.
It should be.
Let it free. It live its own life without having to be burdened by quotes.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so the goo effect. We actually did an episode on this a while back. Gooey GUI for mail kind of app, and so we just copied this from there, which was probably copied from another source, and we'll have some links for some of those. But basically, this is an SVG filter that applies a blur, sharpens that blur, and then overlays the original content on top of that. And that is what gives the a little bit of this stretch effect. So I'm going to slow down the animation so we can really see that happening. Now we do have some extra elements in there that are helping give that extra stretchiness. If we hide those really quick, let's say drip display none.
Yeah, you'll see a nice line, which honestly, like for most projects, this is fine enough.
Right. That's still a really cool effect. You still get a nice, visible kind of pulling of the elements, but with just a little bit of extra HTML and CSS, you get a much more prominent effect. For better or for worse, we think for better.
Oh, definitely better.
And yeah, so that's basically what's happening with the SVG Goo, is it's just helping kind of cause that blending to happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, for the extra drip elements, we had to simulate it being lagged, where they lag behind their parent elements moving. And so to do that, we added a keyframe animation that just shifts them up real quick, like towards the center, and then pulls them away a little bit after the parents move away. So it's just a little illusion that we added.
Right. And because of that Goo effect, we did separate out the background and the content, so that things like the button wouldn't be blending together in like this transition. And that involved a little bit of complications just with the way we're using display grid and trying to get everything separated. But basically, they're just using the same grid setup, and then we have the content and the background content sized the same.
Yeah, and it highlights two things that we've been doing. Number one, reusing grid in order to have two layers of the same sizes, layouts, and also separating the background, which we've seen has many positive effects, especially in terms of performance.
Yes. Let's see. And then
a little bit more tiny animation details, like in the button. That caret, I got lazy. Instead of adding an SVG caret, that's just a black border on two of the edges, and then I rotate it using CSS.
That's clever. You got the little before happening here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's me being lazy.
Yeah.
Just making it in CSS instead of actually getting the real carets like you should be doing.
A question in the chat about adding two different animations using splitting.js, the library that I've put together. You can do that in multiple ways. Targeting different classes. Like if you had some kind of class change, you can do that on hover. That's one of the great parts about splitting is you're animating with CSS, so that can change on hover. You can also do this input checked approach for changing an animation if you want to do that. There's a lot of different options there. All right. Going back to the Goo drips, so one of the ways that we had we have them being offset so much is with actual CSS animations when the checked is happening, so that they go from transform none, which let's reveal those drips a little bit with background red so that you can see them. So right, here's the ones from the description box, and you can see when that animation kicks in, they kind of jump up so that they're going to be stretching out. Yeah, it goes from there. Yeah. Any other things we need to cover on this one?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Goo effect is front and center, the most prominent effect, and hopefully we described it well.
Oh, yes. That's actually applied with filter Goo here on our background, which is just a reference to this ID in SVG.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all. You want to bring this one to a close?
Let's do it.
Right. You have been watching Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more from David and I, there are many ways you can support us. The primary being pledging at patreon.com/keyframers. You can also like and subscribe at youtube.com/keyframers, where we will have the video of this available soon. You can subscribe here on Twitch and participate in the live streams every week. You can also share this across social media.
Yeah, and we do accept submissions for future episodes. So tweet at Keyframers with any animations you'd like to see made. This animation was brought to you by us being like, which animation should we do? And then we're like, let's do something gooey. And then we found something gooey. So there you go. You can also present questions or challenges to us that we'll try to answer on the air. And so please be sure to share this video and demo across all of your social platforms and share them with your mom as well if you need a belated Mother's Day gifts, because I'm sure she'll enjoy them.
Yes, she would very much appreciate this. I'm sure. You know, any kind of call or text.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Adios, amigos.
Adios.